Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Today, I'm going to be showing you one of the best in-slot Arcane builds for Elden Ring. Very fast blood loss, lots of damage, and extremely effective against higher level enemies. Quick shout out to our sponsor, AOE.com. If you don't want to grind for items or runes, and you want items real quick, use my code COLE for 3% off. In one of my previous videos, I went over one of the best intelligence builds to use in Elden Ring. Intelligence builds are extremely popular, and trust me, this is one you do not want to miss out on. I am really excited to share this build with you all today. I've been having a lot of fun using it, and I've just been destroying everything that gets in my way. For those of you that may be new to Elden Ring, Arcane focuses heavily on bleed, specifically blood loss and bleed damage. As you continue to level up your Arcane and use weapons with Arcane scaling, like for example, MOHGWYNS Sacred Spear in the gameplay footage that you see here, which is an incredible weapon by the way, the further you progress your character, the more blood loss will occur, and you will do lots of bleed damage. MOHGWYNS Sacred Spear, to be specific, does a lot of damage. It has a huge area of effect, and it's not only effective against mobs of enemies, but it's very effective against higher level enemies and bosses. This build also takes full advantage of fast-paced melee combat using the Scavenger's swords. The Scavenger's sword is a great weapon overall because it starts with blood loss buildup. It scales evenly with strength and dexterity, so you can choose either route. Also, this weapon has great combat capabilities, an amazing lunge attack, a very good jump attack, and very fast dual-wield attacks, with both of these simultaneously allowing for very fast blood loss and lots of damage. This build has incredible amounts of DPS. It's going to make the game very easy for you, and most importantly, it's going to turn you into a killing machine, making this one of the best Arcane builds in Elden Ring. If you are around level 50, your attributes could look something like this. So for Vigor, we have 25. Obviously, HP is going to be extremely important if we want to stay alive. We have Mind at 15, Endurance 15, Strength at 20. Obviously, you can choose between prioritizing Dexterity over Strength, but keep in mind, in order to take advantage of MOHGWYNS Sacred Spear, we are going to need higher Strength. But what's also good, the Scavenger's swords scale evenly with strength and dexterity, so there's really no wrong choice here. We have dexterity at 16, intelligence at 10, faith at 15, so we can use some incantations, and then arcane at 20. Keep in mind, arcane is going to determine how much blood loss buildup we have, how fast we can kill our enemies with bleed damage, and it also increases our discovery, which a lot of people overlook. Around level 100, your attributes would look something similar to this. So same principles apply. We want our HP to be high. We have Vigor at 50, Mind at 20, so we can use our skills, Ashes of War, Endurance at 20, Strength at 25, Dexterity at 16. You can bump this up to 18 in case you have a weapon that has a specific dexterity requirement. Intelligence at 10, Faith at 15, and Arcane at 30. If you are close to level 150, which is typically where most people like to stop leveling their characters, your attributes would look like this. So at Vigor, we have 60, Mind 20, Endurance 25, Strength at 30, Dexterity 16, Intelligence 10, Faith at 15, and Arcane at 60. So our two highest attributes at level 150 is going to be Health and Arcane. Real quick, if you look to the attributes on the left side here, these are my current attributes. Now, I'm a higher level. I'm in New Game Plus 6, I believe. I'm level 241. My attributes are Vigor 60, Mind 25, Endurance at 30, Strength pretty high at 72, Dexterity 18, Intelligence 10, Faith at 25, so we can take advantage of the Golden Vow incantation, and then Arcane at 80. One of the weapons that we are using on this build is MOHGWYNS Sacred Spear, one of the best weapons for an Arcane build. This weapon is obtained from killing Mog, the Lord of Blood. What makes this weapon so powerful is actually the Ash of War that's exclusive to the spear itself, called Blood Boon Ritual. This weapon has a huge area of effect, allows you to stack a lot of bleed and also does tons and tons of damage. We are also using scavenger blades, dual wielding scavenger blades on this build. But what makes these weapons so powerful is a specific Ash of War that I highly recommend for any Arcane build. The Ash of War that I am talking about is called SEPPUKU, a forbidden technique used by swordsmen from the land of reeds. Plunge the blade into your stomach to stain it with blood, increases attack power, and improves ability to inflict blood loss. More specifically, this is going to add 30 flat attack power and 84 bleed buildup without any arcane scaling on the weapon. This scales to 118 bleed buildup with 80 arcane using a blood weapon. Also, I want you guys to know every single item, Ash of War, Talisman, whatever it may be that we go over in this video, I will put links in the description below in case you guys want to know how to obtain any of these items. So like I mentioned, we have 2 scavenger swords on this build. Both are fully maxed out. We can see here our physical attack power is 215 plus 283. Keep in mind, this is with the SEPPUKU Ash of War equipped. Our attribute scaling, we have strength and dexterity at C, which is perfect because we are focusing on strength. And in case you do want to focus on dexterity, you can do that as well. We also have arcane scaling at D, and our current passive effect, our blood loss buildup, is at 116. Keep in mind that is 116 blood loss buildup on each of our weapons, and the higher your arcane is on the build, the quicker you are going to stack blood loss and the more bleed damage you are going to do. Our secondary weapon, as mentioned previously, MOHGWYNS Sacred Spear with the Blood Boon ritual that you saw in most of the gameplay. This weapon is incredible. It's fully maxed out, plus 10. Physical attack power, 235 plus 327. Also does fire damage, so you can take advantage of Flame Grant Me Strength, which increases your physical attack power and your fire affinity attack power. For fire damage, we have 151 plus 105. Attribute scaling heavily favors strength and arcane at C, dexterity at D. Keep in mind, in order to use MOHGWYNS Sacred Spear, you need at least 24 strength, 14 dexterity, and 27 arcane. The passive effect also gives us 93 blood loss buildup. We are also going to be taking advantage of some incantations on this build to increase our defense and offense simultaneously. I felt the best seal to use on this build. Keep in mind, in order to use incantations, you need a seal. I'm using the Dragon Communion Seal, and the main reason I'm using this one specifically is because it has incredible arcane scaling. Also, if you like using the Dragon Communion incantations, you will get a boost for that as well when you use the Dragon Communion Seal. For our apparel here, you can see that we have the white mask. Now, what makes the white mask such a good option for this build? It's going to slightly raise our attack power when there is blood loss nearby, making this a great mask for this build. The rest of it is purely cosmetic. I really like the look of the Nox Swordstress armor, and we have the Nox Greaves. I think it looks pretty cool, but the most important thing is make sure you have this white mask on your build if you want to do more damage. The next thing we are going to take a look at is the talismans on this build, which is extremely important. For the first one here, we have the Shard of Alexander, one of the best talismans to have in Elden Ring. This is going to greatly boost the attack power of skills, which means our Blood Boon ritual is going to do more damage, as well as SEPPUKU on each of our scavenger swords. The next talisman we are using, which keep in mind, these talismans are the main reason this build hits so hard, is the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, which greatly raises attack power with successive attacks. We also have the Green Turtle Talisman, which is a great talisman to have because it's going to raise our stamina recovery speed. Last but certainly not least, probably the best talisman on this build is the Lord of Blood's Exultation. Blood loss in vicinity increases attack power. So every time we are pretty much using this build, we're going to be increasing our damage with the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia because we are going to be greatly raising our attack power with each successive attack. We have amazing stamina recovery speed, which is important if you want to land more shots. And then the Lord of Blood's Exultation is going to give us even more damage as long as blood loss is in the vicinity. And with a build like this, blood loss is always going to be there. Obviously, the Shard of Alexander is going to boost our damage even more, making this literally the best talismans to use for an arcane build. But it doesn't stop there. If you didn't think there was any other way to boost our damage, you were wrong, because we have some incantations on this build. The first one we have is Flame Grant Me Strength. This one is going to raise our physical and fire affinity attack power. We also have Bestial Vitality, which is going to give us HP over time, which is always good to have. And then Golden Vow, which is going to increase our defense and offense simultaneously. If you guys look at the top of the screen right now, we have so many buffs active, which is why this is one of the strongest Arcane builds in Elden Ring. The very last thing I want to show you guys is my Wondrous Physic, which is actually going to give you even more damage. So mainly the Flame Shrouding Crack tier is going to temporarily boost fire attacks. So we're actually going to do more damage with MOHGWYNS Sacred Spear. Also, it is very good to have the Green Burst Crystal tier, because it's going to temporarily boost our stamina recovery speed even more. That is the build, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it in any way, shape, or form, a thumbs up would be very much appreciated. It seriously helps the channel out. If you guys want to see more Elden Ring videos just like this one, be sure to check out my previous videos, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you, guys. I'm out.